Let's start with Mike. Mike, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here.
Hey, good afternoon. Thanks for having me. I
My-
appreciate it.
My pleasure. You're good buddies with Ed Baxter. That's the reason you're on the show. He said, I got a great one for you. So, Ed, come in.
Mike, first of all, thank you for joining us. I appreciate that. Mike, I don't know if Mike necessarily would call me a buddy, but I think he would say he actually knows me. So that's awfully nice of him to do that.
I'll call you a friend.
There you go, Mike. I appreciate that, man. Obviously, PinPoint's doing some pretty innovative stuff on the real estate side. Kind of give us a little bit of background on you, and we'll talk a little bit more about where you want to take PinPoint going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. We kind of started PinPoint from a different direction, I guess, than most funds. And my background was more in the residential remodeling and construction side. I did it for local folks, and then I eventually did it on a business-to-business side for a bunch of banks and hedge funds, and got to really learn a bunch of different markets, a bunch of different ways to approach real estate, especially in the single-family home market, what others were doing, how they were capitalizing on it. And so learning, probably the most difficult thing, and at least the most exposure you have after buying an asset, the construction side, learning that so well up front and starting to do my own investing and flips myself, we've eventually, with a great team, have parlayed that into PinPoint and create an opportunity to now raise money and scale what we've been doing privately for about 13 years now. So we're very excited. It's going very well, and there's some unique things to our fund that I think we'll talk about that have led to its early success.
Now, one thing that's interesting about, kind of validating PinPoint and you from the previous deals you've done before, we met, you were actually taking the company from 0 to 39 million in sales. Does that sound relatively accurate from the previous company?
Yeah, that was accurate. In 6 years, we'd
Right.
grown it to that. In that time, we completed over 35,000 rehabs. So when I say we got to know the construction side very well, we got to know it very well. Very few, I would think, in this country have touched as many properties as we have. And so, again, we're going to parlay that, or are parlaying that experience into what we're doing with our fund.
And you're looking at the fund and the new project you have with it. One thing that you highlight is the senior program. Kind of give us some color on that.
Well, we're trying to use, a lot of people dabble in real estate. Nothing's new to that concept or that idea. However, what we wanted to do as a team was figure out ways that we could be stewards not only to the investors that we're representing, but also to the communities that we work with, and also find opportunities how we can make it a win-win for everybody. And what we found meeting with some senior developers is there was this big bridge or this gap for seniors that needed to sell their homes and move into assisted living. Kind of one needed to happen for the other, but no one was offering an opportunity for seniors to be able to sell, privately, quietly, without nuisance of showings and without having to prep their home and do all these repairs, and then also give them their cash up front so they could buy their assisted living units. A lot of times for seniors, their biggest asset can be their home, and they need to sell that to get into the next stage of their life in their next community center. And so what we've done is created a program working with specialized real estate agents and ourselves and with seniors that need the opportunity to sell their home without any disruption, stay in it after it's sold. So what we do, Ed, is we sell the home, or we buy the home, we close on it, we give the seller their cash, and then they have up to 90 days to transition into wherever they're going next. If it's downsizing, if it's going into assisted living facilities, whatever it might be. And what we found is both for the seniors and for their families, it's been a tremendous thing that they've grabbed onto, and a lot of these developers are coming to us and asking for assistance with their clients to help them enroll in this program and take advantage of it. It just makes things so much easier for them.
Obviously, I guess looking at the next step here, when you think about the fund and PinPoint Equity, talk to us a little about how the fund is set up, what you expect to do with it, and I guess give us some ideas about what you expect the returns to be to investors. Not necessarily going into great detail, but give us some ideas about that.
Yeah, absolutely, Ed. We've met several times, and I have a long path ahead of me with real estate and want to stick with it for some time. And so we built this fund with the idea, we have a younger management team, an energized management team, but still a very experienced management team to build a real estate portfolio for the foreseeable future. So PinPoint is a evergreen fund, which, as you know, means that it doesn't have an end date. Our goal is to initially raise $10 million and then go beyond that, building a large portfolio of single-family homes in 4 to 5 key markets while we also continue to do our buy and reposition the assets and sell, or as known as flips, do that in coordination with it. So we have big goals. We eventually want to have a couple thousand homes under management and maybe more. But for the next 5 to 7 years, that's what we'll be working on is building that rental portfolio, continuing to do our flips, and grow our investor network and welcome new ones to come in that fit the mold mutually and continue to grow.
Let me jump in for a second. You got a Houston project, and I wanted to hear about that before we close out. I wanted to give you some room to talk about it. We got about 3 minutes left.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's in partnership with Tieback Capital out of California, there in Newport. Good colleagues of mine that I met from the years before doing some business. We're looking at doing a joint venture together down there. We're actually currently raising money for this as well to help out with the Hurricane Harvey issues that are going to be really starting to hit them in the face at this point. FEMA's kind of come in and done their thing and got them as far as they're probably going to take them, although they're still assisting. But there's out of the 273,000 properties that were affected by Hurricane Harvey down there, only 32 to 40,000 were covered by insurance. So there's a huge gap there, a huge need to do about $16 billion in repairs and reposition these homes to be livable again and put the next family in there potentially, or keep the current family that's in there. So yeah, that's what we're working on, is that initiative to help out down there and of course capitalize. That's the goal for our investors, but also help those communities recover.
I guess looking at what you've done so far, and obviously where you're going, because I've seen you and seen what you've done, and see you make I guess lemonade out of lemons for the most part. How did you manage to get John to join you? How do you get him out of the professional sports area and bring him into an area like this, and sell him on the idea of joining PinPoint?
Well, John, is John connected with us?
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, John.
Yeah, so I can go ahead and answer that. My background is in commercial real estate development as well as sports marketing and sales. But Mike and I met a few years ago, and he kind of was getting started with this fund, and I got involved with some pilot programs just to do on the side. Wanted to see how it worked and the process that was involved in doing these flips, and I was just amazed at just the organization and just the flow of everything that happens when, from acquisition to rehab to disposition, everything was just, to me, it was very professional, and that just opened my eyes to a whole other side of reality of real estate, and to me that it impressed me enough to use the profits and the equity involved in those flips that I did, put them into the fund, and then join the team as part of the management side.
Thanks, John. I've watched him too, and we're about out of time now, so we'll kind of close it out here just yet. So, if people are interested in getting a hold of PinPoint, how do they find you guys?
Well, you can go on our website, which is under construction currently, but it's PinPoint, www.pinpointek.com. They can email me. It's John with no H, Jon at pinpointek.com. And my phone number is 612-716-6800.
Perfect, guys. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you. We'll be back on the other side of this break with the Private Equity Spotlight with me, Ed Baxter. This section brought to you by the Vitamin Patch.